Okay, this is video on Alta Road. Like I said, the floor sagging, they've added these temporary beams. We call these lally columns or adjustable columns here. And basically they're, adjustable. You put these pins in here, get them to the closest major point, and then you take up the little small amount of difference with the little screw jack at the top. So he's got a bunch of these in here, and didn't do a good job. They're not attached at the top. They're not attached to the floor at the bottom. A better way to fix this would have been, if you want to do it the right way, if these joists are sagging, which it looks like they are, they're split on the bottom. That's how you can tell they're sagging, because they split on the bottom. When they come down, they split on the bottom. And a better way to do this, I've done it in an old house we had, is they had a bunch of crap like this in here. And my sister's like, okay, what are you going to do now, smart ass? So I said, I'm going to take them all out. So I go, how are you going to do that? The house is going to fall down. So what I did was I measured from the bottom of the joist to the floor in a couple locations. And then I took all the columns out to see if the floor sagged any. It didn't sag at all because there was nothing above there. The room was gutted out, And so it didn't sag at all. So then I just doubled up the floor joists. They were it was an 1895 farmhouse, so I doubled up. They were 2x6 floor joists, so I doubled them up. So they were 2x6s, and I just scabbed on or sistered on another 2x6 from one end to the other, going from, foundation wall to foundation wall. Or no, from foundation wall to main beam is what I was. There was a main beam over here, so it was rest on the main beam at one side. And nailed it in there with my nail gun and left it all wide open down there, so you didn't have all these stupid posts. And I did the same thing in a garage that she had. You can see under here is where the bathroom was. You got galvanized plumbing. The floor joist sagged. It's not soft. Some sagging is real common in these old houses, especially when the pipes are leaking, the wood gets wet. It tends to bend easier when it's wet. They wet wood, they steam wood, so to bend it to make furniture, they call it a steam box that they put the wood in, so moisture will soften wood. So anyway, no furnaces. This basement leaks like a sieve, I believe. They put a sump pump in here and busted up the floor perimeter. I don't know, they busted up and put a French drain in here, is what I'm saying. At least in part of it, I can see over here they did that. I do not see where the floor's been busted up all the way around though. But stuff like this, this wood has been here probably since the house was built. It was a partition wall maybe for a little coal bin or something, because this house is old enough to maybe hit a coal furnace. And it's rotted off, so we know the basement leaks. So, and it's wet right now. When I touched it, it was soaking wet. So it didn't used to leak, it still leaks. Got a little crack right here coming down. When you got several cracks like this in a couple different locations, cracks, step crack here, kind of like this is, you're supposed to add them all up. So you got a quarter inch, that's 3/4 of an inch. Over here, these are original support columns here under the main beam right there. This is what they call a built-up beam. It's 4 2x8s, I think, sitting on top of the steel post. So the steel posts tend to rust out in these old houses. That one's a little rusty. And I've got pictures and maybe even some video somewhere that, they're completely rotted out at the bottom. So these need to be replaced. See the rust coming off of there? We call that scaling, or I've heard people call that lensing or scaling when the metal starts to come off. If I hit that with a hammer good and hard, I'm sure I could knock a hole in it. Yeah, so no furnaces, no hot water tanks. Most of the ductwork's still here. None of the foundation walls appear to be bowing inward. We got some minor cracks. An old building like this, those cracks over there I saw were pretty minor in my opinion. Probably just fill them in with some mortar. Yeah, no bowing in the walls. Walk all the way around. Well, the electric services have been stolen also. In case I didn't mention that. Some of the wires here, some of it's not. Someone's squatting here and they got illegal power hookup here. So there should be 2 panels here because it was a 4 family. They converted it to a 2 family. So you should have 2 panels here, and you got 1. And that's your illegal hookup where they're getting power from. They got a 20 amp breaker, by the way, with 14-2 wire, because that wire should be yellow if it's rated for that breaker, which is 20 amps. So you got some raw sewage. I see some toilet paper here. That's, you know, that looks like poop and stuff there. They've been bringing water in here in buckets and flushing the toilet by pouring water into the toilet with a big 5-gallon bucket. And it looks like it's coming up down here, so that means your sewer is plugged up. So that's it. You got 1 laundry down here, 1 laundry tub. This had maybe 2 or maybe even 4 laundries originally. Like I said, it was a 4 family. Okay, that's it.